Hello Virgo, welcome to your full moon reading with me. So this full moon is going to be in Taurus, which is a very earth sign, so all about being grounded. Taurus is also known to be about your income, your wealth, how you make your money, for example, what you hold close to you, what's valuable to you, possessions and material world stuff. So that's a very collective way of putting it, and how it might impact people is that focusing on that, building stability and stuff like that. It's going to be happening if for those who are Virgo risings, this is going to be happening in your ninth house. So a really big time for travel and expansion, a time of your spiritual expansion as well, and your perspectives and learning a lot of new things and wisdom. All right, philosophies, belief systems, all this kind of stuff all covers under the ninth house. Now, this is a beaver moon, which I found interesting. I've been letting everyone know because what's interesting about it is that around this time of year, this is why it's called a beaver moon, the beavers would work really tirelessly to build their dams before winter. So it kind of makes me feel like this time of year is really about how can you push yourself just a little bit more in whatever way. It could be internal, it could be external. What can we do a little bit more of and work on before the end of the year, right? Before the end of the year hits. So just question that at this time of how it will show up for you. But of course, if you're Virgo rising, that will be probably, again, in terms of expansion. How can you expand your life? How can you expand the things in your life? And spiritual expansion too. What are your belief systems telling you? What are you learning out of life? So anyway, let's just dive into your reading, shall we? Let's see how this is going to be for my Virgos. This full moon says make time for self-love during this full moon. Okay, my angels. You also have push through any insecurity. So some of you may have some insecurities. Again, this is a time to learn for a lot of you. It's a time to really put it into a new perspective. So maybe your insecurities are telling you parts of yourself that you would like to improve on, or maybe it's showing you sides of yourself where you've not quite accepted yourself in some way. Maybe you're still holding on to other people putting this insecurity in you. So really look at your beliefs, because for a lot of you, your belief systems are just actually old conditioning that you were once taught to believe. It's not really coming from you. So it feels like this full moon's helping that little those parts of you that are not really yours to move away. And time for self-love is interesting, especially with insecurity coming up. So a big time for self-love. You have to the sea. So some of you feel a little bit lost in your journey right now. The good news is you are exactly where you need to be, even though it doesn't look like it, right? Because I always say in this card, she looks lost and she feels lost. She doesn't know where she is. She doesn't know where she's going. She really is just kind of just trusting that this boat will take her to land. She doesn't know how long it will take. So you might be feeling a bit like this. This is an emotional time for you, as full moons are, but you might have been dealing with this for a little while now. The last 7 months, are saying, has been significant for you in terms of this feeling and this emotional walt being highlighted. Again, as I said, the good news is you're in the right place. However, you're not really quite sure where you're going. This is the time to focus on your heart, to focus on your feelings and emotions, to figure out your truth. Who are you, Virgo? Especially with the base chakra here. Where have you been deceiving yourself? Where have people deceived you, right? We have financial constraints as well. So this is telling me that there is a hole in your base chakra, especially with financial constraints. Some of you guys need to really dive deeper into your identity and to speak and to show up as your true authentic self. That's what it feels like, especially with the throat chakra being here, because this feels like self-expression. And I guess in a way, when we allow our insecurities to speak louder, then it can be in a way deceitful, because we stop ourselves from achieving, or we stop ourselves from putting ourselves out there and having success and having everything that is yours. So I wonder if this all kind of links to all this together, right? Just feels like it's a lot of different things that somehow are impacting each other. I don't know what I'm seeing here. There's a lot going on for you. Maybe that's why you feel a bit lost, right? Overwhelmed. Where do I start kind of thing. Woman holding a heart, of course, this is a good time for love. The majority of you, though, speak as if it's you. This is a big time to dive into your feelings and emotions. This is a big time to, again, figure out what's going on in your heart space too. In your feelings, in your emotions, and what matters to you. That's very interesting. Especially with self-love and insecurity. It's a really big time to give to yourself, because that, in a way, is your foundation. Okay, let's see what else. For my Virgos, So some of you will be finding love and being ready to open your heart up. Some of you, the woman holding a heart is a love interest coming away. Forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Virgo, who's doing this? Someone saying forgive yourself. It was not your fault, for you did not know any better. And it's not saying you did anything wrong. Sometimes it's, trusting someone who's deceitful. Interesting. Forgiveness. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. That's very interesting, Virgo. Let's get another one here. Okay, and impartiality, which is very strong Libran energy, and you have that energy here, especially with trickery. Then this is going to be a tough message, because impartiality kind of says there's no right or wrong here. So maybe during this time, they're wanting you to look at things impartially. And with trickery, it's interesting because it kind of says here about both sides of the story. And I know no one wants to look at that. So I'm just going to, I don't know if I should leave that message there. All you can do is work on your side of things, of course. We can't change other people or make them any more, honest. But for you, it is about looking at both sides of the story. Now, I'm going to tell you the story behind this card because it's important. This is the angel of balance, right? And there are neighbors who are arguing. One wants to paint their shed fence blue. One wants to paint it red. And they're screaming at each other because, they have different opinions. Now, none of them are right or wrong. They just have different preferences or different things. So what does this mean for you? Maybe you and someone else went through a very difficult situation. Trickery is involved here, but maybe you were just different people. And I wonder if that might help you to forgive in some ways, just acknowledging that, to look at it more impartially. I don't know what they mean for that or how I can address that for you, because of course we have a lot of cards about deceit, trickery. Maybe someone stole money from you with financial constraints coming up there as well. But maybe instead of thinking I should have done this or I should have done that, maybe, you're coming at it from a different lens because you're out of it now. But in it was different. Do you see what I'm saying? It's almost like finding that balance in between and looking at it impartially. But anyway, let's dive into your tarot around this. Let's see what's going on. All right, my gorgeous Virgos, what's going on during this full moon? This full moon, the Hanged Man, looking at things through a different perspective. Gaining enlightenment. It makes sense with the 9th house as well, the World card. So this is also marking a new beginning. And the moon, let's get one more. Temperance, forgiveness. Forgiveness is coming from you looking at things from a different perspective. So needed. So I don't know if you need to meditate. I don't know if you need to journal about this event in your life or a situation or feelings that you're holding on to or your own insecurities or whatever it is that's coming up for you. But temperance is really asking for you to balance it, because this forgiveness and this understanding, she's usually got fire and water. So again, these differences, maybe your differences, I don't know what it's about exactly. So I'm going to just leave it general because you guys will relate to it however it shows up for you. But balancing these differences is going to help you open up a new chapter in your life, one where you're no longer stuck probably thinking about the situation. Some of you have been stuck since a situation happened, right? Or felt lost ever since, felt like you lost direction in your life, felt not yourself. So temperance coming through here is really about take a time out, really sit and think about it, right? I'm seeing like weaving a web a little bit here of like turning the situation and unraveling it a little bit more, a little bit deeper, and understanding it. I don't know, it's just a little bit like alchemy. Hanged Man, looking at this from a different perspective is going to open up a new door, and forgiveness is going to open up a new door. Now, the moon being here is, of course, about deep feelings, suppressed feelings, hidden things. Why is the moon here for Virgo? Two of Swords, a clash. Sometimes this is about a decision, but based on everything that we're saying here is that this is like a disagreement or an argument with someone, or again a clashing, and that you do still have some feelings around this energy. The 5 of Cups, there's still disappointment here. I think some of you need to recognize your truth. The sun being here is about your identity, success, and joy. Ace of Swords being about your truth. Nine of Wands tells me that you guys are hurt over this ending and feeling like you need to defend yourself, or which kind of is telling me here that, what can I say about it? Feels like you lost a sense of self in this for a reason, because I don't know if you were gaslit. I don't know what it is, but it's just this energy where there's a reason why you feel like you need to defend yourself. And I wonder if there's a part of you that might feel that you were made to feel guilty, or you were made to feel like something was your fault. So I feel like you need to heal that side of yourself who may have believed that person that it was your fault, right? Who took the blame. Because what I'm seeing is that there's a hole in your identity. And a lot of these cards, I'm feeling in my heart so much in your reading. Okay, anyways, let's dive in. Why is the Two of Swords here? The Tower, it's a clash, it's a fallout, it's an argument. So what's the advice around the moon for Virgo? The Star, it's about healing. Not rushing out of the moon to get to the sun, for example, but bathing in that shadow. Healing under the moon. Healing under the moon. I don't know if you guys could do like a little moon bath or something, I don't know, but cleansing your energy is so important. Healing your past. Somehow this is going to help you get unstuck in your life. Even though this is probably out of your life, you still feel like this holds a heavy cloud over your head. Eight of Swords still makes you feel stuck or up in your head about it. Knight of Pentacles, this will help you invest in yourself moving forward. Advice for this energy. Advice for Virgo. Eight of Pentacles, work on it. How can they work on it? Queen of Pentacles, by focusing on yourself and your self-worth, right? Because Queen of Pentacles is your energy, your worth, your value. So now we're bringing in that Taurus effect. Ground yourself, Virgo. Recognize your worth. Build on it if you need to. If you feel like you could be worth more, then build on your routine. Build on how you show up for yourself. Build on what you feel is missing in your life. But don't forget that you are worthy. And I want to look at impartiality. What's the advice with this? How can Virgo look at things impartially? High Priestess. Page of Wands. Page of Cups. So I feel like both sides had a lot to learn about different things. You both had different lessons in the situation. Both were at a loss. I have to tell you that. Both came at a loss. But you definitely felt defeated. But both people felt defeated. High Priestess is a little bit about what's going on in your subconscious mind. You know, maybe this is about both people having wounded inner childs. So you both had something to learn about your inner child here, because High Priestess is the subconscious mind. So almost putting it in that perspective that you both showed up based on your inner children might help you understand that they were also just wounded too. Doesn't ever give them a blessing of what they did, by the way, Virgo. It's not about that, because that's what's holding you back, is by focusing just on that. But what Spirit wants you to say is, and it's reminding me of, forgive them for they did not know. They did know, but again, it's conditioning. And it doesn't mean that they need to change for you to forgive yourself and move forward. Maybe it's just forgiving your part, right? You don't need to forgive that part. But that's what I will tell you about that, is that both of you were coming from a place of wounded inner children. Does not dismiss what they did, ever. But it's about looking at it from a different lens. Sometimes it can be healing. Sometimes it doesn't make a difference because we're so hurt. So maybe just look at you from that different lens, that you were coming from a wounded inner child too. Maybe that's why you forgave them for constant mistakes. Maybe you felt like that in your childhood too. Maybe you had to forgive your parents a lot of times, even though they hurt you. Or, you know, maybe you wanted to fix them, like you wanted to fix your parents, or maybe you felt not good enough, so you almost wanted to be good enough for this person, you know. It's just to see how it might relate to you. But anyway, really deep reading. Apologies for that, but I hope it's helped someone out there. If it did, let me know in the comment section. And if you did, make sure you like and subscribe. But aside from that, Virgo, I'll see you guys in the next one.